Hey everyone, welcome to Tips and Tea with Linnea FNP. My name is Linnea Baker. I am a board certified family nurse practitioner as well as a certified health and well-being coach, and I am very grateful for each of you who show up and give me some of your valuable time to listen to these important health topics that we cover each week. And today I'm drinking my matcha tea, which has so many great benefits. And maybe we should cover matcha tea on one of our future episodes, huh? So today we're going to dive into an incredibly important topic. And this impacts many women really often without them realizing the connection. And it's perimenopause and the gut connection. Perimenopause, which is our hormone changes, can begin as early as your 30s and last into your 50s for women. And during this time, your female body undergoes significant hormonal changes. And one crucial aspect that is often overlooked, sadly, is the role of the gut health in managing these changes. I can tell you guys, I had significant changes when I hit 40 years old into my mid 40s. And at 45 years old, when I changed my nutrition and focused on gut health, it had a powerful impact on my overall health and wellness. And I started thriving. And it was so simple. So let's talk about the gut's role in hormone metabolism. We're going to start with the basics, okay? Estrogen is one of the primary hormones involved in perimenopause. And, and it depends heavily on the gut to be metabolized and excreted from the body. Did you guys know that? If the gut isn't functioning effectively, which we call dysbiosis, an unhealthy gut, then estrogen isn't metabolized correctly. Dysbiosis is to explain it simply in an unhealthy gut. It's when we have too many of the quote unquote bad gut bacteria and not enough of the good gut bacteria. Okay. And when this happens, this can lead to estrogen dominance, which gives you conditions and symptoms like, well, estrogen dominance is a condition that can give you symptoms like weight gain, brain fog, and even breast tenderness, right? So, Dr. Tasneem Badia, or Dr. Taz, as she's widely known, is a board certified physician who specializes in integrative and emergency medicine with a focus on women's health, weight loss, and nutrition. And so she's really an expert that brings a lot of insight in this area. And according to Dr. Taz, the gut is ground zero for hormone health, mental health, and weight management. So basically, when we're having these difficulties, we should be looking at our gut health as one of the first things to focus on to make sure that that's in check, to make sure our hormones are balanced. Now, this doesn't replace going to your doctor and getting labs drawn and things, but we all know how frustrating sometimes that can be. And clearly, if something comes up on your labs that your doctor can help you with and guide you with, fantastic that you're able to get the help you need. But a lot of times as women, we get blown off. We're told it's in our head. The labs don't show what we're feeling. And so this is something to help those that are just struggling and don't know how to get feeling better. And Dr. Taz points out that increased inflammation, which is largely due to environmental toxins such as glyphosate, commonly known as Roundup, has a significant impact on our gut health. Glyphosate can live in our cells, particularly in our intestinal lining, and may be one of the primary causes of leaky gut or intestinal malabsorption. Roundup is an herbicide. It's to help keep pests down on our crops, and it's sprayed all over the crops. But the problem is that then the residue of it gets ingested in our body because the food gets contaminated with it. And we're finding that it destroys our gut microbiome and creates inflammation and causes leaky gut as well. So this is just one of the environmental toxins that we're exposed to significantly in the United States. So the imperative of supporting gut health, what does that mean for us? It means that supporting our gut health is more critical now than ever, guys, and especially as we age. Dr. Taz advises removing fast foods and ultra processed foods from our diet and replacing them with whole, real foods that basically look like what you would pick from the earth, fruits and veggies, anything that you can prepare at home from the ingredients in your kitchen, those types of things. She emphasizes the importance of healthy fats because those are the building blocks for hormones. And I know so many of us get scared about fat, but there are healthy fats out there that our body absolutely needs to thrive. And low fat or fat free diets can actually cause hormonal imbalances. And I know that just from growing up in the 80s and into the 90s when fat free and low fat was the craze, and we were told we needed to eliminate fats from our diet, but then more sugar was put in foods to make them more palatable. And it really wreaked havoc on our overall health and well being. It also caused significant weight gain. And we're really dealing with an epidemic of chronic disease in this country. And a lot of it comes from inflammation and what we eat. So when we talk about digestive health and hormones, guys, Dr. Taz highlights the necessity of needing digestive enzymes in our gut to support the digestion of carbs, fats, and proteins, and says this is a game changer for hormonal health. And we need to be able to digest and utilize the nutrients properly in order to build and maintain our hormones. She also says taking a probiotic is crucial as it reintroduces beneficial bacteria into the gut, supporting its role in hormonal metabolism. And prebiotics, particularly fiber, are equally important. So, eating a variety of fruits and vegetables not only nourishes our body, but it also supports our gut microbiome, which plays a key role in hormone balance. And you guys have heard me talk about this before: digestive enzymes, prebiotics, and probiotics. But not everything is equal when you go to the store and look at things over the counter. So, you need to do due diligence in researching products you're looking at because many times when products off the shelf are tested, they don't have the level of, say, the probiotic they said. They may be contaminated with heavy metals and other things, unfortunately. They may not even have what they say is in there for a probiotic. And this comes in all health supplements. You really need to do due diligence, do your research, and don't just take it for granted that if it's on the shelf and it says it's X, Y, and Z digestive enzyme pre or probiotic, that it's actually going to do what it says. And it can be more harmful. And also making sure that probiotics are safe for you. There are a few types of people that cannot use probiotics. For example, when my son was going through cancer treatment, he could not even eat yogurt with live culture because his body was so depleted. His immune system was so shut down that he would have had an overgrowth of the bacteria, and it would have been a problem for his body. So just making sure you do due diligence for yourself and do the research to make sure that you're not doing harm to yourself. Just like when we go to the grocery store, guys, most of the products that are on the shelves in the grocery store, they're ultra processed and they have lots of chemicals in them that are not good for us and actually are harmful to our overall health. But because they're on the shelf in the store, we think that it's okay. And that's why I want to educate you to just be mindful. When we know better, we can do better. I was that way for a long time and I didn't realize what I didn't know. And now I know better and I want to teach others so they can learn better for themselves and know better for their families and their children, right? We really try to do the best with what we know. So by educating you and reading ingredient labels and understanding that just because it's on the shelf or says it has this in it doesn't mean that's the case. All right, so hormone disruption and xenoestrogens. Dr. Taz also warns about the growing issue of hormone disruption caused by environmental toxins, specifically xenoestrogens. And these are molecules that mimic estrogen in the body, contributing to estrogen dominant symptoms. So, even if lab tests show normal estrogen levels, symptoms like bloating and breast tenderness and painful periods can persist, often due to xenoestrogens, which are found in plastics like bottles and food containers. Interesting, right, guys? So these xenoestrogens mimic our estrogen pathways and give us symptoms of estrogen dominance. And we have symptoms and we know we don't feel good, but you go and get your blood work done and they're not picked up on the lab test. So it looks like you have a normal estrogen level. Crazy, right? And it's just from toxins in our environment. But nobody talks about that when you go into a traditional Western clinic. because that's not part of our standard Western medicine practices right now, and should be changing in the future. It just takes time for things to change. But hopefully this will become standard of care when we're taking care of people, and we do look more holistically towards lifestyle and toxins and things of that nature. So, stress and hormone imbalance. Stress is another significant factor in hormone imbalances. High stress levels increase cortisol, and cortisol is a hormone that disrupts sleep and the entire hormone feedback loop. When the body is under stress, it deprioritizes reproductive hormones, which can lead to conditions like estrogen dominance and insulin resistance. So, when we are using cortisol, when cortisol is up, that's our fight or flight. And actually, I heard the word fawn, fight, flight, or fawn reaction. It's our body it's our innate survival. Okay. And when that happens, anything with reproduction is not necessary for our personal survival in that moment. So those things are shut down so that all of our energy and everything can go towards survival, whether it's fight, flight, or fawn, typically called fight or flight, right? So really interesting to talk about that. Now, what are some action steps that we can do for better health? Like what specific things can we do? So below are some actionable steps I'm going to talk about that support gut health and hormone health. So the first one obviously is eating whole foods. We want to incorporate a variety of fruits, vegetables, and fermented foods in your diet. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, um, those are foods that are fermented, which is loaded with probiotics, right? The good gut bacteria. When we eat fruits and veggies, we're getting lots of phytochemicals. Phytochemicals are great because that's basically the plant's own survival mechanism and immune system. And when we eat those foods, we're getting that part of the food in our body to help us as well. Not to mention all the fiber, which is great prebiotic food that feeds our good gut bacteria. Number two, we want to minimize ultra processed foods. And those are those foods that are like fast foods, fried foods. They're packaged and frozen foods, typically boxed or bagged foods. Those are typically what we're talking about with ultra processed foods that you wouldn't be able to take a Dorito and make it in your house with the ingredients in your house, right? And they can disrupt gut health and contribute to hormone imbalances. Number three, we want to support your gut microbiome. So remember, probiotics and prebiotics are essential. When I say prebiotics, we're talking about the fiber is a good prebiotic. Number four, we want to manage stress. So maybe practice yoga or meditation. I never thought that I would, with my squirrel brain, be able to handle meditation, but I started slow at 5-minute intervals of meditation with a guided meditation to help me focus. And it has been very successful and helpful. And I probably needed it more than most. Also, deep breathing exercises can reduce stress. And you also want to surround yourself with a supportive, positive community, okay? Uplifting community will help manage stress. You want to prioritize sleep, aiming for at least 7 hours of quality sleep in total darkness to support hormone balance. Number six is exercise regularly because movement is crucial for both gut and hormonal health. That doesn't mean you need to exercise for hours or lift really heavy weights. Simply walking, building up to 30 minutes a day, and doing some resistance training, even with resistance bands or your own body weight. Those are all ways that you can exercise and support your health. And you don't need to go and be a bodybuilder or run a marathon because too much exercise actually can create inflammation and worsen gut health. So there's a fine balance. Too much is not good. You want the right amount. And then number seven, reducing environmental toxins. We want to avoid fragrances, plastics, and other common sources of these hormone disrupting chemicals in our environment. So guys, my mission is simple yet powerful: to make a lasting positive impact on your health and wellness. And through education and personalized coaching, I aim to help you create not just a healthy life, but a legacy of generational health where your health span matches your lifespan. And if this resonates with you, I invite you to take the first step toward a healthier, more vibrant life. Guys, reach out to me for a free wellness consult. Let's start this transformative journey together. So, in conclusion, guys, perimenopause is a critical time in a woman's life, and understanding the connection between gut health and hormonal balance is essential. This starts as early as our 30s and can last into our 50s as women. So, starting sooner is better to set yourself up for success if you're in your 30s towards your 40s and 50s, but it's never too late to start a health journey and see positive impact. By taking proactive steps to support your gut, you can better manage the symptoms of perimenopause and maintain overall health. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's prioritize our health by paying attention to the intricate connections within our bodies and making informed choices that support our well being. And just my disclaimer, this information is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. It is also not intended to replace guidance by your personal healthcare provider who knows you best. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly hope this brought you value. Until next time, guys, be safe.